So this will take me a little while to get to the actual point, but let's get started. You see, replicator technology is not actually the staple unit of how the individuals within the Federation had reached post-scarcity. It instead was a change in philosophy as to how resources that already exist be distributed. This can easily be evidenced by the fact that we, as a society now, technically have post-scarcity, and the argument of, oh, well, we just don't have a very accurate distribution method. No, we do. It's just the hoarding of resources as a dragon on a pile of gold is the situation that makes, things like hunger and homelessness still exist in the situation. It's all through the acquisition and the accruing of continued capital. On top of that, this is also further evidenced in the series of Enterprise, as in Star Trek Enterprise, you do not see them with replicators. In fact, what they have is a ship's cook. On top of this, the replicator technology you see in Star Trek later on in the timeline, i.e. during the Discovery era for first 2 seasons, as well as Strange New Worlds, the original series, and the animated series, shows that the replicators were not that advanced yet. Furthermore, in the film Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, there exists a galley, a full regular galley, complete with cooking staff. Again, proving that the replicators were not really that successful in what is functionally considered as the golden age of exploration within Star Trek. It isn't until the 2400s or 2300s or 2400s that you actually start to see the replicator that is, all doing. And even then, people will still try to, find a way to make the craft themselves. But that's beside the point. There is actually a science fiction series very similar to Star Trek, in which exists a replicator and post-scarcity technology, with replicator is the device that ushers in the philosophy similar to Star Trek. That is the Orville. Now, what is wrong with that approach comes in the fact that, quite similar to what I said earlier, we have functionally in our current society achieved post-scarcity. And if you suddenly were to just have the device that made post-scarcity a definite thing, one of two things would happen under our current society. First, the billionaires, i.e. those who really have power in our society, would hide its existence from the masses, because that creates one less justification for them to hoard all the wealth. The second is, given the way our society is now, if we were to suddenly have that technology, the average person still wouldn't be able to use it, because that would only be allowed for the rich who already have that giant hoard of gold to sit upon, as they just make it grow even larger because they don't have to spend any of it because they have replicators. This kind of goes hand in hand with the argument you said against communism. Not because, suddenly you have, military oppressive, this, that, and that. What I'm saying is, when you actually examine communism from what it is, especially in socialism and the semi-socialist state that is the Federation of Planets, or at the very least, the United Earth, it is a difference of philosophy because the acquisition of personal wealth is no longer the driving force in the average person's life. It is the betterment of oneself and humanity as a whole. On top of this, you also have a change in the way people will act with each other. I mean, people are kinder with each other. It's not a deus ex machina. In fact, there's many episodes of Star Trek where the replicators aren't working, but people still aren't crazy. Granted, I will give you one thing. There is an outsider looking in on the Federation within the Starfleet, or within the Star Trek series franchise as a whole, and that is Quark in the series Deep Space Nine, who correctly observes that, humanity with our creature comforts, we can be kind as all hell. However, when you remove those creature comforts, we tend to go vicious. But that wasn't replicators, that was creature comforts. Humanity tends to try to make war that'll be done quickly and efficiently because we don't want to be fighting, because we'd rather not. And to link in an entirely different genre and franchise, but if more people found if more people were having their interest in cheer and companionship and food, i.e., what is kind of said in The Hobbit by Thorin to Bilbo at the end. I'm just paraphrasing there. But the world would be a merrier place. And as I said earlier, we already functionally exist in a post-scarcity world. Maybe not in everything. We technically do have scarcity in the fact that there are a limit to the elements. However, in terms of necessities, we very much have post-scarcity. And I don't know if you watched this. I don't know if you're going to get the notification on this video, but communism does work. It's just not what you think it is.